very happy New Year to you, everyone, and happy New Year to you too, Kim.
You too,
thank you. We thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kyla Grogan.
And I'm Kim Cunningham. 2012 was an unforgettable year, from the devastating tornadoes to the areas ravaged by Hurricanes Isaac and Sandy, and of course, the historic drought. But now we enter 2013, and for some, it's a wet start to the new year.
Absolutely. Let's take you to New Orleans, the Big Easy, where they're dealing with a little light rain today. You can see it's not stopping everyone from getting out there in the quarter, but the temperatures, boy, they've been nice and warm in New Orleans, and that's about to change as this front's going to go by.
It surely is. All right, for more on this, let's go to our storm tracker, Jim Cantori. Jim?
Yeah, ladies, happy New Year to you as well.
So if you're heading back to work tomorrow, maybe you have the day off today, and you didn't have to worry so much about the weather because you're hanging out at home, but you're going to be hitting the road tomorrow. Let's take a look at what your travel is. Just heartbreaking to see those stories. Now, along with the intense heat and smoke, wildfires, they affect the airflow around the area where they occur. This can create a fire phenomenon known as a fire tornado. Here's Dr. Forbes to explain how it happens. Thank you, Dr. Forbes. Now, one of the components, of course, for wildfires is when we have dry conditions, when we have drought, and certainly we're seeing that in Colorado. And if we take a look here, the moderate drought for Colorado last week, 100%. And if we look at this week, that number has not changed at all. And you know what? That number hasn't changed since mid-year to 2012. So they are in the situation where this has just been very persistent and extreme drought, 53% last week. That number hasn't moved at all either. So that is part of the problem here. We're talking about fires and danger. If we take a look at the forecast, are they going to be getting any rain, any snow? Well, it's not looking like we are going to be getting any as we head into tomorrow. Denver, 32 degrees, so we're plenty cold, that's for sure. But we won't be seeing any rain, anything to kind of help that drought condition. Our 5-day forecast for you, Denver, no rain for you in the forecast, lots of sunshine, and certainly some extremely cool temperatures as you look here. Your high just 32 degrees tomorrow, your low on Thursday, 9 degrees. Kim? It means bundling up and keeping warm, but those cooler temperatures, apparently they might also affect your ability to recall some of the season's weather terminology. Here's meteorologist Mark Elliott. He is out weather walking, testing your knowledge. About the rain, wondering what's happening tomorrow as you head back to work. That rain is going to stick around a little bit here in the southeast, just along the fringes there in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and along the coast in Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And there are cooler temperatures behind it. So let's take a look at where we are tomorrow. New Orleans, we're going to see a little rain for you in the morning, 51 degrees. Clouds for you in Tallahassee, 62, 53 in Atlanta. And you can see the temperatures behind the front here, 42 for you in Little Rock. And that rain across the coast, Raleigh, 48 degrees for you as you head through your day tomorrow. Now, how much rain are we going to be picking up through Wednesday? Well, we are looking at 1 to 2 inches in Atlanta. And of course, we do have the drought here. We do need the rain, so that's some good news. 1 to 2 in Knoxville. Half an inch for you in Montgomery, and 1 inch there in Jackson, Mississippi. Charlotte, you will be picking up an inch as well. Some changes on the way for the southeast, though, and Kim has that. Dr. Forbes, very interesting, the science behind that. Now, you know, drought conditions can exacerbate fire problems, so we've certainly had that in several states. In Colorado, you are one of them. As we take a look here, last week when we talk about moderate drought, the entire state 100% in moderate drought. And as we look at this week, no improvement whatsoever, still 100%. If we look now at our extreme drought, 53% last week, 53% this week as well, which means we've had no improvement. And frankly, we haven't had any improvement in the last 6 months for you in Colorado, so you definitely have those chances of fire when you have these conditions. Let's take a look at our forecast for tomorrow and see if we have any rain coming. We don't. And of course, you take a look at here, the cold temperatures there, it's sunny and dry, high pressures dominating. We have that clipper to the north, but that's too far to the north and too far to the east to hit Colorado. And as we take a look here, you can see it's going to be very cold, 32 degrees, sunshine, no rain in the forecast. Kim? Next couple of days, we have those chilly temperatures still with us. Our rain is going to be still affecting the southeast, but just along the coast, and we have a little clipper moving in that's going to bring some snow to places like North Dakota and Minnesota. But temperatures, you know, Kim told you about the jet stream staying down to the south, and that's going to allow that cold air to come on down. So Kansas City, 36 degrees for you, 38 Washington, D.C. will be below freezing in Boston, just 30 degrees. By Thursday, now we have just a bit of lake effect snow here in the middle of the country and also in the northeast. And our rain, our stationary front still still hanging out there, folks. So still going to be some rain for you in Georgia and South Carolina into North Carolina. And not much happening with the temperatures, but boy, is it nice and chilly in Minneapolis. 15 degrees on Thursday is all you're going to get. 34 for you in Denver, 65 in Los Angeles. By Friday, high pressure dominating a majority of the country. Look at this. I said to Kim, it almost made me think that something was wrong with the map because it was so clear. We just have a little bit of rain down there in Texas. Cool temperatures there along the East Coast, 37, Washington, D.C., 34 for you, New York and Boston. Kim. And for time is running out for many Sandy victims who are being helped by FEMA's Shelter Assistance Program. Coming up, our own additional shelter program is set to expire next week, meaning Sandy victims living in motels will have to find other places to live or start paying for their own lodging. This is another challenge for people who have lost a lot. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow saw the aftermath firsthand and met folks who went through this, and he talks about his experience covering Superstorm Sandy. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Well, winter weather is winding down for many parts of the country, but you know what? It's not over yet. Coming up.
Reynolds Wolf.
And I'm Kyla Grogan. Heavy rain and flooding has turned the Midwest into a mess. And here's why. Take a look at this. Everywhere that you're going to see, apparently my microphone's not working, so you go ahead.
All right, I'll take it away. There you go. We're getting some new images of the flooding in place.
Thank you for that report. And we got my microphone working again, folks, so we are back in business. Let's talk now about the flooding rivers. More rain, unfortunately, coming towards you in Chicago. Take a look at this. We have 12 rivers that have set records for flooding, going over the flood stages. This is what we're talking about. Dangerous flooding in the areas where it says major. We're talking about Peoria and certainly all the areas surrounding Chicago. That's where we've had the worst time of these rivers coming over the riverbanks and starting to flood areas. Around that, where you see the red, that's the moderate flooding area, and that certainly includes places like Lansing. And then the yellow, Indianapolis, that would mean you. That is where we're having the minor flooding. But it's been a big mess. And let's zoom in, and you can see when we talk about what's happening in and around Chicago and certainly in Des Plaines, where you just saw Julie reporting from, look at all these counties that are under these severe threats, these flood threats that continue throughout it. And this isn't going to go away quickly. Unfortunately, it is not going to go away quickly, and we don't need any more rain, but that's precisely what's coming towards them. We have a system that's going to start coming together. A surface low develops early in the week, and then we have moisture coming up from the Gulf that gets together. It does produce some storms, and the result is rain. And that's what we're going to see early in the week for places like Chicago, Wichita, and Nashville. In Chicago, we're talking about the possibility of a half to an inch of rain right on the corner there of 1 to 2. And Tuesday is the day that we're looking out for that. Reynolds.
Okay, thanks. We've all seen the privately built rocket to the International Space Station, and now another private space company is on the verge of launching tourists into space.
Well, we sent the Weather Channel's Dave Malkoff, who gets all the great assignments, to the Mojave Spaceport in California for a status check. Go into space, would you? That is a good question. I'd like to think I'd be brave enough to do it, but I'm afraid of roller coasters that go upside down, so I don't know. All right, let's talk about the weather tonight. We are certainly nice and clear along the East Coast, and cooler temperatures, those are going to stick with us. But back here, this is where we're watching our next system come on in, delivering a little snow to the Dakotas and heading for you, Minneapolis. As we get into tomorrow, you can see that system again starting to develop, and we do have a few thunderstorms also hanging out in Florida. But for many of us, clear skies and just those cooler temperatures. So we're looking for the 50s in New York City. For joining us on Weather Center Live, I'm Kyla Grogan.
And I'm Todd Santos. We're watching the threat for severe weather closely today. The red zone stretching from Colorado to Illinois, and even a few areas, including Springfield, Missouri, that have just received insane amounts of rainfall.
Yeah, and severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes is in the Global Forecast Center tracking these storms for us. Boy, really watching some lightning with these storms. Well, it chased thousands out of their homes, and now it's giving firefighters, the Forestry Service. We're in for what could be the longest and most dangerous wildfire season ever. Forestry officials say that because of human behavior and climate change, this is the new normal. Meteorologist Kelly Cass explains.
Just Kelly Cass, the Weather Channel.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Good update there. And, you know, of course, Father's Day, time to chill and grill.
It's a stakeout. It is Father's Day weekend. Lots of us will give Dad a day off from the grill duty and cook him a delicious feast, perhaps.
Not a bad idea, actually. And meteorologist Reynolds Wolf is at the Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival in National Harbor, Maryland. This hour, he's actually cooking up some ribeye steaks. Oh.
It's amazing. All right, well, if you want to be grilling with Dad on Sunday, take a look at the weather in Atlanta. It's going to be great weather, 87 degrees and sunshine, so head on out. No problems whatsoever. Chicago, much better weather for you on Sunday than we've had today. So we will have 85 degrees and a mix of sun and clouds. So you can get out there too. In Los Angeles, hey, you've always got the good weather. Nice and mild in the 70s, a mix of sun and clouds, and also looking good. So if you want to head out to the grill, you are all set. So if you are wanting to be out there with Dad, if you're on the East Coast, you're okay in the morning hours until the afternoon. That's when we expect the rain to pick up. But in the Southeast, pretty much anywhere you're going to be tomorrow, you've got terrific weather. So get on out there, get your grilling tips, and head on out and get ready to enjoy it. Todd.
All right, Kyla, thanks. So
a wild week of storms across the country, including right here at the Weather Channel. I'm Kyla Grogan.
And I'm Todd Sanchez. We're also watching the severe storms flare up across portions of the plains into the Midwest this afternoon. Chicago, Kansas City, both get ready. Now,
Talk about Philadelphia. We're welcoming the sunshine, and we have dealt with relentless rainfall this month. 1.67 inches. That's about what we should have this time of the month, but we've already seen 7.3. So plenty of rain all up and down the East Coast, including for those of you in Philadelphia. It's been a rainy one. Now, the good news is the radar right now, take a look at it. It is absolutely clear. Not anything to show you. With you for this extended edition of Weather Center Live. We've already seen 2 confirmed tornadoes in Louisiana today, and these storms are not stopping. Let's send it over to Chris Warren for an update.
Thank you, Dr. Forbes. A dangerous night in the Ohio Valley, and meteorologist Mike Seidel is in Cincinnati.
Yeah, tough one.
Meteorologist Mike Seidel, thank you. And when it comes to weather, do you like the tricks or do you like the treats? Not sure what kind of tricks those might be. Reynolds Wolf hits the street to find out your favorite weather for Halloween.
And who could... All right, thank you, Chris. Well, for some, it's about the costumes. For others, it's the pumpkins. Since today is Halloween, meteorologist Reynolds Wolf hit Extreme Boulevard to get the scoop on all things spooky. Little pumpkin. Well, I'll tell you what, those of you in the Northeast, if you're along the coast, kind of got away with it, right, as far as trick-or-treating tonight. But rain and storms certainly moving in the Northeast, and you can see it now as we take a look at the radar. If you're in Buffalo, if you're in Syracuse, you've already seen some of those showers. Not anything hitting the ground yet in Boston, though, but we'll start to see that come in later tonight. That moist flow coming up, meeting up with our cold front that tracks across with our low-pressure system, and that rain will certainly be there when you wake up in the morning, all along that I-95 corridor from Boston right on down through New York City and Philly, and we're going to have the wind to deal with as well. So it's going to be a blustery, kind of nasty day as you start off your day. We get to tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with that rain right throughout the day. So New York City, when you wake up, we'll have that rain about 5 a.m. We'll be in those mid-60s. Expect that wind to kick in about 7 a.m. It'll stick with you throughout the day. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Chris. For so many people right now throughout the center of the country, take a look at these storm reports. So we look to the north here at places like Nashville and into Ohio, and these are the non-thunderstorm wind gusts. Incredible wind as we're rolling across Tennessee. And then we've got thunderstorm-associated wind gusts down in Louisiana. I mean, some of these gusts have been in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range, so certainly makes it tough to be outside. And if we look at our line of storms still rolling at this hour, lots of heavier showers now in southern Louisiana, but they're still making their way into Alabama. And we do expect this to continue. We've got some severe thunderstorm warnings to tell you about in southern